Hey, what's up, guys? This is my review of the Apex Rival 40-32 by 56. Designed in Canada, built in Japan. Extra badass glass, perfect tracking, illuminated, and a reticle that I really, really like. All right, let's take a look at it, and you tell me here in just a second. Here we go. All right, now the first thing that jumps out at you when you see this scope is the orange accent pieces. The little anodized orange stuff is really cool. Let's start out looking at the eyepiece. Like everything in this price range, it is super, super nice. It moves like its own ball bearings. The little throw lever that comes with it gives you extra leverage, not that you need it, but with the anodized color, the cool factor is very, very high. It also comes with this little stud you can put in there instead of using the throw lever if you just want to have something that's a little less profile, and they pimped it out with the same color. Now, here's a look at it at 100 yards, taking it from 4 all the way up to 32 in 4 power intervals. In just a second, when you see the video, you'll really be able to see just how clear the glass is in this scope. It is very, very badass. The side focus on it moves like a high-end stereo volume knob does. Everything on this scope feels like that. There is no surface that you touch that you don't feel quality with this scope. It's got a 6-step illumination off in between each one. It is semi-daylight bright. I didn't get any of the footage because you can see when we look down range here in a minute how sunny it is. Now the turrets are really, really tough. Zero slack, no play of any kind. Right here I'm running it in the vertical tracking from stop to stop, and as you'll look, you'll notice that it never blacks out. That's because it has such a huge eye box, and the image is flat from edge to edge. Everything about this scope, the optics that are inside of it especially, are just in a class all its own at this price range. You have to see this thing to appreciate just how clear it really is. Now the vertical turret has a little pop-up to let you know the revolutions that you've made with it. And let's take a quick look at the zero stop. To get to it, all you have to do is loosen these 3 screws, pull it up, and underneath you'll see nothing but stainless steel and O-rings. And there's a look at the zero stop right there in the top, that little horseshoe. You turn it this way to lock it, turn it all the way back, and it's free. So you can decide if you want to use the zero stop or not. You just flip it around if you don't want to use it. Me personally, I very rarely use it, but it's nice that it's so convenient and so easy to set. But right here, I'm going to tighten it right back up. You can check out the zero stop and how hard it stops. Stops on a dime. I mean on a damn dime. Now right here, I'm checking the turret values to make sure they move exactly like it's supposed to. And trust me, it does. Right there, I'm starting it out on 0. I'm going to run it down 3 mils, which is the first one, 5, which is the second one. And I just keep running it back and forth to make sure it'll repeat and come back and lock. And trust me, it does. This thing tracks like a nearsighted Indian, and I'm not bullshitting. It is that good. All right, guys, here it comes. The one and only double nipple twister. I'm fixing to go nuts on these things, and we'll see then if it'll return to 0.
The nipple twister.
All right, now if this is the first time you've seen me do a test on the scope, here's what's going on. I've got one camera on the turret, one camera looking through the scope downrange at 100 yards. That's on 10 power, by the way. And I'm just twisting and just going nuts on these things. What I do is I get it right in the center of the target, torture the hell out of these things, and see if it will return. You would not believe the number of scopes that just will not do this. They're not built to take this kind of abuse, but the fact that they can and they will return basically gives you an idea of the quality you're talking about.
Let's twist them again.
All right, we did it once, let's do it again. Now, the reason I did 2 of these nipple twisters on this particular scope, it's a new brand to me. The price that it is, it should bring a certain level of quality and repeatability. So I tested a lot harder than I would a scope that's more of a known entity that I have more history with. This thing impressed me from the time I took it out of the box till I put it in the fixture. It just kept doing it.
Dad, you crazy son, I bet you did.
I see a ton, an absolute ton of really, really good scopes. Scopes that come in from about $1,500 to about $2,000. But every once in a while, you'll see one that the color reproduction you see through the scope is exactly like it looks to your naked eye. The image is totally flat. There's no curve to it. If there's any distortion in the video, it simply is the fact that I'm filming through a camera. But when you see this thing with your eye, regardless of the magnification, it is a total beast.